Hi there, I'm back again. So this time I prepared the video with online play. I don't like playing online so much because it's kind of stressful. So I tend to avoid it. But if people like it, I will probably make more videos and try to lose my stress from losing a game, really. Which of course happens, especially when you're playing the higher leagues or higher seasons, I should say. So in this one, I'm playing as always, playing a random opponent, which actually took a little while to find. Not so easy today to find an opponent. I don't know why, but as you probably already know, I prefer playing against the AI because it's much more relaxing. I do see, however, that some people would much prefer playing with others online, and so I kind of wanted to create a video and just show a few ideas and a few potentially interesting tips for people who like to play online. Again, it's not my favorite thing, and some tips may not relate well to you. But there are some ideas that you could potentially use. And so when I'm playing online, I kind of have to always remember that the game is kind of slower. And this reflects back to everything, from the way players run to the way players dribble and hold the ball, or even pass. So things are generally way slower. So I have to, to take this into account and try to be more conservative and more patient with my passes. And we have scored the first goal here, which is always nice. But uh, we are of course continuing with pressing more, but we always have to be mindful that our opponent is there and pressing as hard as possible. And I kind of like to see opponents who press high up the pitch and always running to you. These tend to be easier for me, at least, to play against, because they do leave a lot of open space for me to exploit. And that was a bad ball here. Playing against another player, against another human, is much more stressful for me, and so I do tend to make more mistakes, as you notice here, for example. But overall, the opponent is also a human, and they also make mistakes, so it's not a super big deal. We kind of need to get used to it, and if we make a mistake, just go back and continue with our play. And as you know, I do like to be as solid as possible in defense. It's always the first thing that I want to make sure that I don't concede, really. But then when I have the ball in offense, I need to pass a lot, and that's a good opportunity here as well. I didn't actually shoot very well here. I should have aimed for the opposing angle instead. Not a big deal. We missed this chance. You will notice that I'm gonna be losing quite a lot here. But it happens, and you see that my opponent is actually like grabbing one player and trying to go through my defense, which is always very nice for when I'm defending. It's rather simple to eventually get the ball back to my feet. And that's another good opportunity here, and I also don't know how I missed this here. I sometimes feel that when playing against the computer, things can go against other humans. I'm sorry, things can go really wrong. I mean, easy goals can be missed, and this may bring some memories in terms of potential handicap or so. I'm not sure if it exists in this version. I'm not playing online so much, but it has always been a quite of a weird thing. happening in previous FIFAs, probably happening, and it's not so good when you're missing chances like that. I mean, it can really feel like something is wrong. Some God's hand is there to to make this thing happen. But okay, we just need to make sure that we finish better. And it's important to notice that since the since the play is slower when you're playing with other humans, you kind of have to adjust and also adjust your shooting. So since the players move slower, you may tend to shoot quicker and not have a proper body position, which eventually leads to bad shots. So if your body is not properly aligned and if you shoot early, you're gonna miss. Like in this case, for example. So if I was playing against the AI, I don't think I would have missed this chance. It really felt that my players were slower, which I'm pretty sure is the case against humans. I mean, it's rather obvious. Not to mention that this game was actually lagging quite a lot, especially in the second half. You will notice that very, very clearly. Nevertheless, we score a second here. Notice it's all about passing, a lot of passes, and we can eventually break through. As you have probably noticed in my previous video, I was talking about stamina as well. Uh, if your opponent is marking you high up the pitch all the time, if he's bringing players up, marking and marking and marking at your side of the pitch, this means that their players are going to be exhausted in the second half, and you always have to take advantage of that if an opponent does this to you. If they are, if they're using high pressure, for example, their players are gonna be really, really low in stamina in the second half, especially around 60, around minute 60. So always adjust your strategy and try to play more counter-attacking style when this time arrives, because you have a lot to gain, and that was a great opportunity here, and very nice building up the opportunity, the chance, but I eventually missed the shot again. See a lot of chances here, but 2 goals only, and again it happens. We have to keep playing our game, and we may eventually be able to score more. We'll see. So we're approaching the end of the half, having a solid advantage here. Our opponent is definitely not very good in this case, but he serves as a nice example of humans that are attacking, are trying to get the ball very quickly. You see that he gets the attacker and he's aiming towards my player. Same here. I mean, he always gets a player and tries to run towards me, and that's a very bad idea. Sometimes it works, like here, where he was in defense really, but rushing up sometimes indeed works, but it's really not a good idea, for the long time. And he actually scores a very weird goal here. I don't know what my goalkeeper was doing, but I did have trouble with the lag in this situation as well. You actually notice that even here, even the replay, the play is very choppy, and it's going to be like that for a few more minutes. So I actually thought of leaving this out, but it's not such a big deal. I feel it just stays there for a couple minutes or so. So please bear with it a little bit. I'm still trying to play as normal, but yeah, it can be a little bit tough when we have some lag going on. So I've noticed that here. That's quite some lag here, and I did notice it in the connection when I first started the game. That it wasn't the best connection, but I couldn't find any player to play with. So I'm like, okay, let's play this and see how that goes. And it wasn't that bad, but it did have its moments where it was a little bit weird. Like this was definitely the part of the game that was by far the most choppy. So yeah, bear with it a little bit. It's almost over, I believe. So we're still keeping our play, keeping on with our play. And one of the things that I also like to do a lot, especially if the opponent marks up the pitch, that was a mistake here, is using my goalkeeper as well. I mean, don't be fearful of passing back to your keeper. You will see me doing this a lot. I I aim for the keeper when I'm pressed hard. It's really not a bad idea, and you shouldn't be afraid of it. Don't overdo it, of course, but generally speaking, it's a good idea to use your keeper as well. I mean, the keeper is another player. It's just one more player as your other footballers. So just use him. If you have the chance, if you are being marked high, just use your keeper. He can save you some head from some headaches. So getting the ball here, I mean, my opponent is not doing much, and even if he steals the ball, I'm easily getting it back from him. And his player stamina is starting to show, I believe. It's not, his players are not in the best form, and so I get another opportunity here and come back with another goal. I think I deserve this when you think that when you account that his previous goal was a little bit weird, but okay, he scored one. I came back with this nice shot here, so I'm having a solid lead again, which is 3-1, and my opponent will definitely want to score another one, which can potentially give me more opportunities. And as I mentioned in the previous videos, I always like to use my midfielders to defend if possible, and then only use my defenders when I'm reaching when I'm reaching close to when the opponent is reaching close to my box. This is the only time when I am actually grabbing defenders to defend with. So he's trying here. That was a decent opportunity. But notice his play. Notice his players. Most of his players are very high up the pitch, and so this gives me a lot of good opportunities. And as you notice here, I'm trying to take advantage of it. Look at this. He has no defenders, and so I miss one more time. Yeah, I don't have a clue how these chances can be missed, but I guess I can miss them. Not a big deal though. I mean, we're 2 goals ahead, solid lead. We have another opportunity here, and yes, that was a nice shot. That was a low-driven shot, actually. And in case you don't know about this, I think I tried to have a low-driven shot here, but it didn't work. In case you don't know about it, the low-driven shot is a directed shot, and I say it's a shot that you direct at the opposing angle of where the keeper is standing. That at least that's the best way to use it. And the way it works is by shooting, and while shooting, pressing the shot one more time. So it's like pressing the shot twice quickly. So you power up your shot and quickly press the shot one more time, and that will unleash low-driven shot, which is pretty much a low shot driven at the angle that you want to drive the shot to, and ideally that's the opposing angle, and you can score a lot of nice goals using this technique. Uh, I may make a dedicated video for this. I do use it a lot in this FIFA. It's really nice, especially if you have good players. Um, so yeah, in some situations, when you actually want to aim for the opposing angle, instead of like power up as much as possible, is a really good idea to use such a shot. But anyway, we are 4-1 ahead, 4 goals ahead, and 5 now. Sorry, 3 goals ahead earlier and 4 now. So that was a nice corner kick, and it's very useful to use L2 in when you are trying to get in a better position on a corner or a cross. L2 is actually sort of like trying to get a better position when you're close to a defender. So it's like shoulder to shoulder advantage, I'd say. So by pressing L2, you're trying to get a body advantage from the defender. and it works pretty well, especially if you are, of course, in a good position. It works even better. But it's a good idea to use it. It can give you some unfair advantage in some situations. And so we are going for another goal here, and that was a finesse shot, which didn't work very well, but yeah, the keeper made a nice save there. I tried for something fancy here, which yeah, it was okay, but the shot was bad. You really don't want to shoot when you're when you are turned to the when your back is turned from the keeper to the keeper. It's not a good idea, of course. And that is a really nice ball, but I somehow missed that. The keeper is saving it again. Yeah, this keeper has saved a lot of stuff, but we're still able to score 6. one more here. Yeah, he pretty much gave this away. But yeah, we're almost closing down on this game. If you liked it, and if you want to see more of this, please let me know in the comments. Just leave a comment and let me know what you want to watch, FIFA or not. So let me know what you would like me to do if we're talking about FIFA, like a career or something like that. What would you like to see? Maybe more tips of specific things. Just let me know, and I'll make a video that would describe the thing. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe and please like the video if you liked it. And I'll see you in the next video, which is going to be soon. See ya. Bye.